Next up, at UFC 303, we have Charles Jourdain taking on Jean Silva in what should be, but might not be, a striker's delight. Charles Jourdain, 15-7 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that close loss to Sean Woodson at home in Canada. He's taking on Jean Silva, 12-2 in his career, 5-0 in his last 5 on a nice 9-fight win streak. This is striker versus striker. Charles Jourdain is a very fun striker. He's going to move forward. He's got a pretty good chin. He's incredibly fast. He's got good timing. He is willing to take chances. His nickname is Air Jourdain, and it's not just an homage or a hat tip to Michael Jordan. It's also for all the spinning and the jumping and the flying that he does through the air. He's a very fun, creative striker, and he's extremely exciting. He can be an absolute dog as well, who will keep and fight ugly and in your face. He's coming off that close loss to Sean Woodson, where he turned into a bit of a wrestler and wasn't successful. 0 for 4 in takedown attempts. He just had a very, very hard time with Sean Woodson's reach. He's taking on another dangerous striker in Jean Silva. This guy's a powerful striker. He's loose, and he also is creative. He's very fun to watch, and he'll go from a high, tight guard to just hands at his waist, moving around creatively. And he switches between those two often enough for you to not be able to fall into a rhythm. Is he here? Is he here? I don't know. Is he going to go to the body? Is he going to go to the head? He's very creative. He mixes things up very, very well, and he is coming off that knockout win over Weston Wilson in his UFC debut.
And just how good is Weston Wilson, huh?
Apparently spectacular.
That one looks even better now. That guy's going to be a future champ.
He is tremendous for this weight class, and Jean Silva had no problems with that whatsoever. Jean is a slight underdog, and I honestly think these odds make sense. I'm about to pick him to win. I think Jean wins this fight. I think these odds make sense, though, because Charles Jourdain has light years more experience, especially at this level in the UFC. But Charles Jourdain seems to be fading just a smidge. Just a smidge. And Jean Silva is a guy that if you make a mistake on your feet, if you're hanging around a little too long for a striking match where you should be grappling, he'll make you pay for it. So Jean Silva is going to be my pick, and I think he gets it done. I just wish I was going to get better odds on him. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, interesting tattoo he's got on his shoulder there, huh? Do you ever notice that? See that on Jean Silva?
The lock dog?
Well, that's Vinicius Oliveira, but Jean Silva does have a lock on his shoulder, which is very interesting. And like I said in the Vinicius Oliveira breakdown, these Brazilians, they're not going to lose. Come on, guys. With me in the stadium, 303, decked out in my Brazilian gear, I promise you this, that no Brazilian is going to lose on this card, and that's including Jean Silva. Listen, I like Charles Jourdain. I actually have picked against Charles Jourdain as my lock of the week before, back with Marcelo Rojo, my dude Marcelo, back in the day, was looking get. What?
Didn't Charles Jourdain pull off a very late win in that fight?
He did get a late finish, but he was on his way to win that fight anyway. Marcelo was a little undersized and was fading a little bit, but Marcelo had some success in that fight. But yeah, so I know Charles Jourdain well. I obviously everyone kind of knows Jean Silva. It comes down to me, the presence, and you kind of touched on it too. The presence inside the octagon for Jean Silva is going to win him the fight. He owns the fucking octagon. You're not going to bully. You're not going to bully Jean Silva. This guy does not give a fuck about anything. And if you get in his space, he's going to throw some wild shit to get you to back up. He's going to control the middle of the octagon. He is going to be stalking Charles Jourdain pretty much the entire time, which is something Charles Jourdain probably is not really used to, right? He's usually a pressure fighter. But a lot of times Charles Jourdain's, and you mentioned it because of the Air Jourdain thing, he wins fights because of big moments. If the big moments don't win him the fights, they still win him rounds. He's usually a guy that's kind of that crazy guy that's moving forward, that's oohing and eyeing the crowd and the judges. So if it's a close round, you're like, oh my God, I remember Charles Jourdain with this big shot or this big spinning kick or whatever. That's going to be Jean Silva in this fight. He's the one that's going to have the bigger moments. He's going to be standing there waiting to cock these big shots. It's probably going to land when Charles Jourdain's there. And unless Charles Jourdain can wrestle this guy for 15 minutes, I think he loses this, could get knocked out in the process. The Brazilians are going undefeated on this card. I promise you that. Jean Silva is going to make it 2 of 2 in the win.
There you go. We're on the same side. You keep doing something to your microphone. I don't know if the cord's hitting
I'm getting fucking jacked, man.
All right. We're both on the dog here. I do wish I got that line much earlier. Plus 170 would have looked real juicy, and I would have made that happen. But it is what it is. We're basically at even money, and this might flip come fight night because I think people are going to do what we did. watch the last fight and be like, well, Charles can get outstruck. We've seen it happen before. Can he wrestle? Oh, no, he can't. If Weston Wilson didn't have much opportunity, but if Weston Wilson isn't getting Jean Silva to the ground, Charles Jourdain isn't.
Well, he got him to the ground.
But you get what I'm saying. He didn't do anything meaningful with it. Charles Jourdain's going to need to do it over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I could see the one stupid thing. Jean Silva might just randomly shoot a takedown right into a guillotine, just like Ricardo Ramos did.
Ramos. But, yeah, we're both on Jean Silva's side, $7,900 in DraftKings Fantasy. I will probably do that. That makes a little bit of sense to me. You're going to get that sub 8,000 price point. And I think Jean Silva not only can win, but I think he can win by finish here. Charles Jourdain is a very, very durable guy. But at a certain point, that durability wears off. And you take a few too many beatings and you're in a couple too many wars. And I think Jean Silva hits that hard. And he's that fast and he's that creative that you won't see it coming.
Here you go. Here's a free premium play for you guys. Angel's not going to like this, but that's okay. I got a bunch of bets this week. A lot of them were kind of structured in the same way. Jean Silva inside the distance, decisional action. I like that one a lot.
There you go. It makes sense. And somebody asked earlier, what does that bet mean? That basically means if Jean Silva finishes Charles Jourdain, you get paid. If he loses a decision or even wins a decision, you get a full refund. The only way you lose that bet is if Jourdain finishes Jean Silva, and that is not a likely outcome. You can unlock the rest of the premium bets. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's only $10 for an entire month, you cheap bastards. That entire month will get you all the picks, the bets, the tools, the insight, the round line leans, and it'll get you UFC 303. It'll get you UFC Denver, and whatever the cards are after that as well. Also, I'm noticing my tan line here. Here's where my sunglasses were. Here's where my sunglasses.
That's embarrassing.
And then there's the rest of the tan.
They're not going to let us in those high limit rooms. So you looking like that?
I cannot be outside without sunglasses. My contacts make my eyes just way too sensitive. Way too sensitive.
Fucking hate sunglasses, but I'm gonna be rocking them in Vegas. I know that. You gotta do it for the fashion over everything. I got new shoes that I literally took the dog.
Wow.
I took the dog on a walk in my new shoes just to make sure I could break them in, so I'm not walking around Vegas with my feet fucking hurting. $49.99.
I know, yeah.
With Riff Raff, Jacob's Lock of the Week, Angelo's Safety Parlay, and their premium picks with an X. When many vloggers out there been struggling, spend your $10 and you just can't lose. Well done, We Want Picks. Have fun at 303. Well deserved. We appreciate that, Riff Raff. You are always one of the #1 supporters of this stream, and especially the live streams, my live stream and this live stream as well. You are the man, and I hope that you are tiptoeing in your Jordans 24/7. Anything to add, Angelo?
No, just Riff Raff. You're incredible, dude. He's a wild supporter. He has sent, I'm looking at, if you watch the vlog, last vlog, I think I did a walkthrough of all the shit in my office here. Riff Raff sent those cool drink cups. He sent, what was the other thing you sent? I have it all here, and I have it all written down who sent what when. Riff Raff has sent us quite a few things, so I appreciate it. I know, man. I know.
I think he sent you that dog.
This one? This stupid-ass dog down here?
Oh.
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? We did have a question from Trav. How does the safety parlay work? It's a parlay.
You take the two biggest favorites on the card, and
you take the women round overs. No, it's a parlay that I put out there, and it's historically incredibly safe at a 70% event win rate, an incredible lifetime ROI. These are obviously fist fights, anything can happen, but in this space, it's a very stable single bet. If you like it, you can go place that bet somewhere. If you don't like it, then you just scroll past and move on. But the safety parlay and everything else is what we are doing with our money and our, every bet you see on there, I place with my money, Jacob plays with his money. And if you want to tail, you tail. If you don't, you don't. No biggie. No doubt, baby.